Righty, it is that time of month again where I start walking around the yard showing you the progress that has happened since the previous month. What's going on with TRANSITFACE today? The battery keeps discharging itself. That's what's going on. Its original battery goosed. Put another battery in. Turned out to be even more goosed. So now I've got to find another battery that's big enough and strong enough to fire up the 2.4 diesel engine. I never got one. Yeah, maybe. We'll find out later. It's on charge at the moment. It was very inconvenient yesterday, as you may know. If you watch the video, you'll know. This is Project Hank. Quite well known for giving me the constant runaround. And that's exactly what it is still doing. Basically what I do with Hank is I spend a day working on it and get nowhere. Spend another day working on it, end up getting nowhere. Spend another day, end up further back than what I started. To the stage where now it doesn't even run. And I still don't know what the original problem was. So my patience is running out. I was going to test this car for some head gasket kind of things, and bleed the coolant and all that other kind of malarkey, when something broke off the inlet manifold. And I replaced the inlet manifold, I replaced the injector, I replaced everything, and it doesn't start. And there's no spark. I actually suspect the crank sensor's just gone bonkers and mad and, well, basically not working, like without any kind of warning whatsoever. That's what I think. Soon I'll be testing that. Next on to Project Derek, the 800 that everybody thinks should be saved. And as you can see, I haven't even washed it yet. What has happened is I've had it running, the engine sounds nice, and I've put inside the proper 800 seats. Craig brought those over, I bunged them in, I haven't bolted them down because I need to get underneath the seat and check out the fuel pump. And that's another job for another day. If it turns out that that is the problem, then it would be a matter of fitting a new fuel pump, putting a new filler neck in, and getting all that welding done down the sides. But more important than any of that would be finding some wheels for this car that aren't absolutely gopping. Here's a very nice short update for you. Project John. That's this car here. Now again, it's still not moved. In fact, in the previous month, no more parts have even come off of it. All that's happened is it's gained more weight, because although there's plenty of corrosion on the sills, they obviously don't go right the way through the floor because the puddle's getting bigger and bigger all the time. Yeah, basically, if it rains, it goes in there. Other than that, plenty of ventilation. Time to make way for Nigel. Nigel! I haven't done anything with Nigel in the past month, besides use it just a little bit, but not really very much. So I thought I'd treat myself to a nice little sit down in the old thing, make sure it still starts. Oh, it did. Yes, it does. Excellent. I've switched it on. I should leave it running for a second. The old friend Nigel. I don't know. Oh gosh, I really want to be driving this car again. It wasn't that long ago since I last drove it, but it's just so comfortable. Honestly, I think out of all of the seats in all of the cars, these really are the best, and they're just Rover 25 seats from about 2003. Yeah. No, 2001, I think. Yeah, they're absolutely spot on. I can't wait for these shows to start happening and I can bring this car out and start going places. As I am sure you're aware, if you follow my channel, you will be aware that Nigel is really complete, to be honest. There's nothing else I can really do with it. Although there are two possibilities. The first one is the bonnet. I still think the yellow bonnet might be better than the black one. And for a moment I thought I'd sold Kev with the black bonnet on, but that deal's not really happened now, which is a pity because it would have dealt with a little problem for me. That's funny, isn't it? Considering these cars' problems, they're not problems, they're my joyous little creatures. Another slight change may be these wheels. Now I really like these wheels, but there's somebody else who really likes them as well and is prepared to pay what I'm asking for them. And I haven't entirely made my mind up about this, because the idea of Nigel was everything's for sale in it. You know, it's basically to promote these Rover parts that I have. But then it's turned into something else. It's turned into a work of art, as some people agree with, some don't. So that would suggest that those wheels should stay. But, you know, I think maybe I prefer the older ones anyway. So I'm unsure about that. This one. Project ALFIE has been out of service for a couple of weeks. It could easily be in service, but I just haven't used it because I can only really tax so many cars at any one point. And it looks like ALFIE is going to be finding a new home. Yep, I haven't put it up for sale. I haven't advertised it. I haven't said I was going to sell it properly, but already it has a buyer. 800 miles covered in this car I've done, and there's been no signs whatsoever of that head gasket failure possibility that I was told it might have originally. And I do believe I've mentioned that I think 800 miles is more than enough to satisfy yourself that the car is good. It is good. It's super. It's wonderful. It just needs a wash, which unfortunately is one of the downsides of this car in this colour, is that it does show the dirt exceedingly well. But because the paint's in such nice condition, it shines through the dirt anyway. So it's been sat for about a week with nothing going on. And as I climb inside, I think, yeah, it smells nice. There's no damp going on anywhere, so just rather nice. And there's the engine on, and it sounds about as good as you could get a K-Series 2 sound. That sounds a bit like I'm suggesting K-Series don't sound very good, but often they can be a bit tappety. Now we're moving on to this mischievous little so-and-so, Project Kev. What can we say about this? Any progress? Yeah, well, if the only videos of mine you watch are the yard updates, you'll spot that it's not got any stickers on it. And that's because I peeled them all off. I spent all Sunday peeling them off, and now it doesn't suit the white wheels quite as much, but it needed doing. The only one I didn't peel off was the one on the bonnet. The reason for that is because the car is for sale for £700, and the new buyer might want the sticker on it. Probably won't, but it's not going to take me long to take it off if they don't. This is good news as well. This has been left standing for a week or so since I vacuumed it out. In fact, more like 2 or 3 weeks, come to think of it, and it doesn't smell, and it's not gone mouldy again. When all you want in life is for your cars not to go mouldy, it's a sad situation, I suppose, isn't it? Except that that's not the only thing I want in life. I want some beer. And that's great because I seem to have had quite a lot of beer this month, bought by people in their very generous nature. The last car in the corner is of course Christine, which in the previous project, Nigel car update video, this one had just been moved down here, having been stood for months and months down at the other end. And I moved it over here with a view to start making some progress with it. And to credit myself here, it has moved. It wasn't there before, was it? It was actually there where ALFIE is right now. So it has gone from there to there, and that's some progress. But there's quite a bit more progress than that to talk about. Again, if you follow all of my videos, you'll know this car has been messed about with this week by me, and the floor exposed to have a great big hole. The carpet up. Unfortunately, this car doesn't smell quite as nice as the other ones. There's a kind of a faint kind of mushroomy omelette smell to it. Mushroom omelette, mushroom curry, something like that, which is surprising because the floor isn't actually damp anywhere. It's just there's this just kind of damp in the car, and that's going to stay until it can get some proper use. But I don't know when it's going to get some proper use, because that patch underneath the floor turns out to be quite a bit bigger than I was originally expecting. So that puts a slight dampener on things. Another R8, another 214, named Frank, so as not to get it mixed up with Hank. It's the same colour, although it's a slightly different shade of Night Fire Red. It's the newer shade. I think it's different anyway. It certainly looks different to me. It's got a different front bumper on it. It's got colour-coded bits down the side and bits sticking out. It also has mismatching Honda Prelude alloys, which are 13-inch, which is obviously far too small. I mean, you know, they just don't look very sporty at all, do they? But who cares about that? I don't. If I can get this car sorted out, it will be going on steel wheels anyway. And it would be nice to, because this car still has MOT on it. And it's a respectable mileage car. I've forgotten the key, so I can't go inside. It was very, very untidy, but now it's been cleaned up quite a lot, and it's got potential. The only thing is, it doesn't run as it should do. It's okay when it's cold, but as soon as it starts to get warmed up, it doesn't rev properly. So yeah, I suspect it's some sort of air intake sensor that's gone wrong on it. But being it's an 8-valve 214, these parts are not exactly readily available. Well, I mean, they might be, but I certainly haven't got them, whereas normally I will have them. So for the moment, it's going to stay there. New to me at Project Nigel is Project Max. I'm particularly pleased with this car. In case you haven't already seen it, let's have a quick look around it. 1991 Rover 416 GTI, twin tailpipes, grey bumpers. It's a proper R8. Although Hank's quite nice. This is what I think of when I think of the R8. Yes, one of these, a proper old one with the grey bumpers on it. At the time I preferred them not to be grey, but now I like them. The only thing is, it's just a bit difficult to make look clean. The old thing is certainly not in premium condition. The paint is very, very rough indeed. And then we have things like that damage on the door there, bit of damage on the wing. The bonnet has been rattle canned and looks exceedingly kind of unusual. The front bumper's okay, except for a little bit there, some lack appeal, a massive dent on that side, another big dent on this side, another dent there, and then just basically rough paint for the rest of it. And then we open it up and we have this lovely, magnificent blue interior, blue carpets, blue seats, blue dashboard, blue door cards. It's all rather blue. There's nothing more 90s than a blue dashboard, and this is the beginning of the 90s as well. I mean, it's not that far off being the 80s. Gosh, the 80s was so long ago, it's almost like it didn't exist. Anyway, this has been for the past couple of weeks my daily car, and I've really enjoyed it. The 1.6 twin cam Honda D series engine is excellent. 104,000 miles, automatic gearbox. It's just spot on. And the sunroof works and it doesn't even leak. How unusual is that? Recently added are the proper GTI lattice alloys, which desperately need washing again already. Well, just like the rest of the car then really, I suppose. Again, if you've not been watching, this car was basically going to be scrapped because of that dent where some taxi driver did some of their driving into it, and that was the result. Insurance company, they don't want to fix it, just have some money, chuck it away. That's how it works. But it didn't get chucked away, it ended up in my hands. My hands are much better. Even though they're not particularly good at fixing things, they're much better at keeping things than Project Waster, still wasting away, unfortunately. No closer to getting this one fixed, no closer to finding any motivation to get this one fixed. It has gone remarkably mouldy on the inside though, quite damp, quite horrible actually. But on the plus side, I'm using it to store my old fridge in. Now here's a new one for you. This one is called Project Jasper. Yeah, Project Jasper. What an unusual colour. What an incredible colour. Rather not unusual though. It's not a complete car. It's been a donor car. And not only that, it's been a bit rotten as well. The sills all the way along on either side are they're a bit like dunked biscuits. You know when you've got a biscuit, and like a ginger biscuit for example, and you're eating it, and it's quite crunchy. And then you think, oh, I'll dip that in my tea. And then it goes all soggy. That's what that's like. I have had a look underneath as well, and all of the suspension components are crusty. You know when you have a biscuit, say a ginger biscuit, and you're crunching away on it, that's what that's like. It's not quite dunking it into the tea stage, but it is definitely brittle. The front end is sort of missing, but that's not really a problem. 2 litre V6 sounds lovely. It does, it sounds super smooth. I might even start it up for you. I might not. I might do. I don't know. I'm kind of doing other things at the moment. Look, original dealer plates. Original plates. It's quite a nice thing to see. And on the inside, oh, that's locked. On the inside, lots of bits are missing, including the original seats, the door cards and the dash trim, and quite a few bits like that. Interior trim missing, not a problem. I can replace every single bit of this. What's more of a problem is, are those rotten sills and all the suspension components and the broken springs, which it has at least 2 of. Quite a few bits of body damage on it as well. Nothing major, but it's really the corrosion that's letting this one down. It's not going into gear either, so that's a clutch master cylinder issue, which is another ball ache of a job, I believe. I'm going to have lots of people say to me, oh, that one's repairing, that needs keeping on the road, that should be on the road, that's a rare car. It is, and it's a very, very nice colour, and I don't know what's happening with it just yet. Right, so let's walk back up the other end of the yard, because there's something I'd quite like to talk about. There's some new people moved in there. They've been filling these holes with what looks like soft cement. And my space at the end of here, which I've managed to fit 5 cars into, I think that really is the limit. The problem with it has been it's just soggy, horrible dirt everywhere, which isn't nice to work on. But all of these bricks over here, apparently they're just going to end up in the skip. So yeah, can you see what I'm thinking? it would be better than nothing. It's not going to be perfect, but I'd spend a whole day just laying all these bricks down there. It'd make it just a bit less boggy. So that's what I'm going to do. Probably next week. It won't make the most exciting video. It's also been fabulous to see the return of yard cats. Yard cat's not been around for a couple of months, and then suddenly just appeared. And then suddenly again. I saw a yard cat today. I saw a yard cat yesterday. It's always just for that brief moment, just scampering across in front of me, and then I know I'm not going to see the cat again until the next day. Now that would be the end of the video regarding progress, but there is more. Yes, because in here, in my lockup where I keep all of my tools and stuff, I did make quite a bit of progress making some space basically. And this bench here, I haven't tidied this bench up specifically for today, but I did do it last week and it's remained reasonably usable. And that is quite an achievement for me, because normally I'm just such a messy so-and-so. The most exciting part is the arrival of this bench, which is now mine. It was in one of the other lockups down there, and it's very, very useful. It will be very useful, but I haven't decided how useful it's going to be. I don't know having a second bench is going to be exactly what I need, and having the shelves on top of it as well will make it very practical, and having the storage underneath will make it very practical. Having this shelf here may be just a bit in the way at the moment. I've yet to decide what to do with that, but the mountain of seats and stuff is still in the corner. But what is amazing is that there's a new bench here and there's some other bits, yet there's more room. And I haven't even filled that up yet, which is spectacular. Once I've sorted all this lot out on there, there'll be even more room. It'll be fantastic. Now what about this thing? You can clearly see this is a lawnmower, a ride-on lawnmower. This has basically been brought in here by my friend next door, who got given it. He wanted to see if I could fix it. So far, I've not actually had it running. It's got fuel in it, but there's no spark. So there's a sensor, which I thought was under the seat to make sure the engine turns off if you fall off, but it's not that. It could be something to do with the brake, but I haven't found anything yet. But I will keep looking. My friend Jordan came around yesterday and he looked at that and said, that's a proper man's toy, that, isn't it? You know, ride on lawnmower. But I don't think so. I mean, look at it. Look at it. It's just cute little red things. It's like a ladybird with its willy out. Now, in a moment, I'm going to crack on and start organising some of this lot here. Well, I'm going to be here for another hour, so it's enough time, I reckon. But I'm not finished yet, because what about the things that have gone? Well, unless I am very much mistaken, there are only 2 cars that have gone. The yesterday Project Albert went. I delivered it. Yes, the car that I thought to completely give up on is going to be worked on by somebody else, and this chap is going to do the engine, put a new engine in, put new fuel tank, fuel lines, all of it, all the suspension. He's got all the time in the world, or so he says. He hasn't, but he talks like he has. Yeah, it's strange that. The other car, of course, is Kurt, Project Kurt, gone off to South Wales with my friend Mike, where I believe it's appearing in a drama or something like that. Seems to be happening quite a lot. So, that's it for today. Well, this month, in fact. Bye.